Pep Talk, another episode today. Get into that real quick in just a moment. I'm very excited about some new things that I got at Pep Talk that I got going on for Pep Talk coming forward, God willing. Next week, Pep Talk will be adding some things and expanding a little bit, trying to dive into more things, trying to invest in my baby. In Pep Talk, trying to progress it, move it forward. Like they say, the more you put in, the more you can expect to get out. So this year, 2025, I want to start to invest my own resources and so on and give Pep Talk the best opportunity possible to be successful. Because at the end of the day, whoever you are, whatever podcast, and I'm just speaking for the podcast community, whatever podcast you have, you want it to be successful. With everything that garners that, encompasses that, you want it to be successful. And you want to feel good about something that you created and know that you were able to get it to the next level. Because it's always something you can get better at in this business, the podcasting business. And I'm just diving in a little bit. Got me a book that I will be reading. It's called The Big Podcast by David Hopper. It was like a Zoom, but it also was like a small video internship as far as it's called My 7-Figure Podcast with David and CJ. I learned a lot, took some notes on that, learned a lot from that. I just been expanding my knowledge when it comes to the particular things, technical things in the podcast business. Just being serious with myself and knowing that this is something I want to go for. Know that this is something that God blessed me to have the ability to do. And I just want to go after my dreams, go after my purpose, the things that come natural to me. And speaking is something that's natural. When I was younger, going to church, granddaddy, daddy, he used to have me sing in front of big churches. I can't say I wasn't nervous or scared at times, but I did it every time and did it pretty well, I believe. So at a young age, I learned how to be okay in front of a large number of people. And I still believe that has a lot to do with my just feeling more like natural. Of course, speaking and singing is a little different, but it's still being okay in front of people, being comfortable with speaking and not getting caught up or being able to brush it off if you do make a mistake and being confident. Pretty much being confident in doing it and not being nervous or to the point where you are not able to perform. Thanks for those things that I did go through that did help me to get to the point that I'm at now. To really put a bow around this real quick so I can get to the topic today. For all those that are supporting me, thank you. I love you for your support because it's very much appreciated and needed. And to those who have quite not yet supported me, which is okay too, I hope by my drive and my determination and willpower that you see over the course of this year that you jump on board too. And if not, that's fine too. All will be welcomed. That's a great thing, but I'm looking very forward. I'm excited to see some things play out, have put into motion, and I am happy about that. So let's get to the topic for today. The topic for today is dating my type. And I always say quotes because you'll hear people say all the time, that's not my type, or that is my type. He's not my type, or nah, y'all know she not my type. And that type of lingo that you have, conversations with your friends, sometimes coworkers or family and so on. Your guys group, your girls group, whatever may be the case, that type of thing. But I wanted to dive into it and just ask the question pretty much, do you ever evaluate your type? When I say evaluate your type, I mean, do you ever look over maybe some choices that you've made and say, what has my type done for me? Why am I picking this type? Why is this type enticing to me? Why am I engulfed in this thing called my type? What about my type that just does something for me to make me be enamored with it? That's pretty much what I want to dive in because from personal experience, I've had to self-reflect and I had to take accountability for a lot of things and really realize that when I was dating some of the relationships I've been in, I wasn't looking for the right things because more of a self-reliant person, I didn't look for much and that really hurt me a lot. in the end of it. But because I wasn't looking for much or I wasn't expecting much, it led me to be disappointed. But that was by my own ego. My own ego led me to think I was able to do things that maybe weren't never going to be done anyway, as far as it being in a relationship with certain people. For instance, if you're dating and most of the goals or whatever, the reason why you're dealing with the person and you're dating them and you're starting to like them and you want to be committed or have a relationship with this person, if they're superficial, if they're pleasure-based, you can expect to be disappointed or upset or frustrated, because if you're a person with character, if you have morals, if you have standards, and you have not done a checkbox or took people through character tests, you are going to be disappointed because you have focused your realm of understanding and what you want into things that are superficial, that are above the skin, that are not deeper than skin, but things that you can see. What about the things that you can't see? What about the loyalty? Well, I guess you can see loyalty play out, but just speaking with somebody, you're going to have to see things in play to be able to know if this is a loyal person or not. It's a certain type of test that you're going to have to see this person in uncompromising positions or situations to be able to know if this person is loyal. And those are things that I didn't do. I went off of just wasn't seeing nothing too bad, or something may have had happened. It was in the past, and because I'm not too judgmental about people with past, and I'm still not going to judge people just because I had some situations that didn't turn out the way I want to. I'm still not going to judge people on their past, but if they still are showing signs that they're not past their past, I'm going to leave them in their past. Now, if you have a past and you've moved forward from your past and you are living a different life and you've learned from what your past is, and you would never put yourself in those situations to be that person that you once were, that's totally different. But if you're a person that's still kind of the person that's in your past, but you don't want to seem like you are, you put on masks or do different things to kind of skeetish away from that, can't deal with that at all. We all have pasts in some form or fashion, me, myself included. We all have a past. We all have things that have been done or that we did that we're not proud of. So therefore, that's why I try not to judge people, but at the same time, I'm not going to be stupid either. That I've learned that from my experiences. Now let's get back to what I was saying before as far as self-reflecting and about dating, because I can kind of get out of bounds a little bit sometimes as far as like staying on topic. I think it's very important that you have to self-reflect when it comes down to the typical my type and that type of thing when it comes to dating, because if you don't hold yourself accountable on your decisions, you're going to repeat them. That's why, and I'm going to use both sexes because I'm not going to bash neither one. I'm not going to bash women. I'm not going to bash men. So I'm going to be in the middle, and that's hard to be. So men who have chose similar women, or I shouldn't say similar women, but have chose their type, as they say, and they've had issues in relationships with their type. If they don't self-reflect and look at their type and what it encompasses and how has it been effective or successful for them, they're going to repeat the same things that happen in those situations. Women who've had multiple relationships and may have had children out of those relationships and they didn't work and they're not with those people anymore. If they don't self-reflect and realize what the my type may have caused to them, or if they haven't been successful or haven't worked out in these situations, if they don't self-reflect and look at those things and figure out what is it that they're tied to, that they're looking for, that is not good for their consumption, it's not good for them to move forward in a very successful way, as far as speaking in a relationship, they will repeat the errors of their ways, of their mistakes also. So this is the reason why self-reflection and accountability are very important in a lot of aspects in life, but we're speaking about dating right now and being in relationships and getting into commitments. Ultimately, if it's something that you seek, marriage, everybody that I've learned, everybody's not marriage material. Everybody doesn't want to be married, and there's no problem with that. Everybody can have their personal preferences or opinions about things, and there's nothing wrong with that. Me personally, I want marriage, and I'm not going to succumb to shortcomings or past hurts or a set dating pool, whatever it may be. I'm not going to use any excuse to know that I can have whatever I want to. All I have to do is continue to work on myself, pour on myself, become a better version of myself, become successful, become successful, be driven, and continue to be the best I can. Eventually, I'm going to attract. But I won't have to chase it down, because obviously, some of the decisions I made in dating haven't worked out for me, and that's fine with me saying that. And it hasn't always been the other person's fault. Sometimes it's been I was in my own way. Sometimes I was the problem, and that's okay to admit that sometimes you're the problem, because no matter who you are, if you're unhealed, you are bringing issues to a situation because you're unhealed. So it's just a matter of time before you get triggered and something comes out, happens that is not healthy. More than likely it's going to be toxic, that you add to the situation. If you've been in a toxic relationship before, and I have been in one before, I could speak on this. Regardless of how toxic your partner is and how much you want to say, well, they toxic, you're toxic too, because you're partaking. And if you're partaking in a toxic relationship, regardless of how much you try to make yourself not be toxic, you're still toxic. Even if you are a bystander and maybe you're not initially the one that is toxic, you still are toxic by being there, by taking that in. There's something that you haven't healed from that makes it okay to be a part of a situation like that. And if it doesn't heal with, once you allow it to happen and you make it so it happens again and it starts to be okay, you become numb to the toxicity. And it becomes to be a part that certain things that you expect about it. So therefore, that's why it's good to have accountability, to have self-reflection, to heal situations or things. And healing is an ongoing process. The main thing about healing is admittance, not being in denial. To admit something may be an issue, something I need to look at, something that I need to investigate further. That's all it is. Stating what it is and dealing with it. And sometimes we don't know exactly how to deal with something. So that's where praying and meditating and that type of thing helps us. But a lot of times the best therapy for things is actually releasing them verbally, saying them. And if that means you need to cry about something, or, you need to punch at the air, whatever it is that you need to do, as long as you ain't hurting nobody else. So I ain't talking about that. Whatever it is that you need to do to release that, to get that out, to acknowledge it, do it. I ain't got nothing but respect, support for people that have that mindset. You don't have to have all the answers, but you're willing to take care of it. And that's what matters. And I don't want to get out of bounds as far as going into healing and all that while I'm talking about dating, but I think that's a big issue in the dating pool, because a lot of people, I had a talk at the barbershop earlier with my barber and another guy that gets his hair cut most of the time every week like I do. I'll see him. But we were talking about dating, and it was crazy because we just organically started talking about it. And I was like, I'm going to be talking about this today. So this is like kind of like, wow, okay. So we were talking about it, and what I took from the discussion was that the dating pool is just so roguish and bogus, and it's terrible to be single right now. I got those type of things. So we was discussing a lot of things, the reasons, and my reasoning was, I think trauma and being unhealed people in a dating pool is causing a lot of issues, because if you don't self-reflect, if you're not accountable and you're unhealed in a dating pool, that's nothing but a ball full of toxicity ready to bowl you over. That's all that is. And in the world today, men's expectations aren't high enough. And that's always been an issue. Men, to me, and I'm speaking as a man, we need our expectations and our standards to be higher. And because they aren't, is the reason why women are allowed to do some of the things that they do and still get away with being the way that they are and still get what they want. Because a lot of women go from a relationship, and see, I don't want to make this like I'm bashing women, because I'm not. I'm just explaining some of the things, some facts that you can see in and everywhere. Some women go from one relationship to another because the man that they were before can't do or isn't willing to do what the man is going to do that they're going towards. So therefore, you haven't been accountable to anything that went on in the prior relationship. You haven't healed. You just left one person and went right to the next person. And everything that was wrong with that prior relationship was because of your partner. Of course, you did nothing wrong. So therefore, the women get what they want, starting off at least, from the new guy that they're going into a relationship with. But once that sours down and they're not getting what they want anymore, and now they have more baggage from a new relationship, because he's going to have a different pair of baggage than the baggage they just left. So now they still have the old baggage that they never dealt with, plus the new baggage, and they're not getting what they were getting when they first went towards that person. So now you have so much baggage from more than one person, plus your own baggage, plus now you're not happy. Of course, the dating pool is going to be crazy if you got that going on, that type of situation. And then on the side of the men, there are men that are users and manipulators and looking for a leg up, meaning that they will represent themselves as one way coming into a relationship, but the whole time they were just trying to get you sucked in to be another way or to show you another side. So therefore, women get hurt that way. Then that changes their approach when they do get back into a dating game, and they expect every man to be like that, or when the shoe is going to drop, because they don't heal themselves going into, like I said, a lot of times they go right into another relationship to a guy that's more shiny at the time, that they're not going to have to go through some of the issues that they had in their prior relationship. So instead of addressing those and somebody or both of the people being accountable for the situation, it's just best to just go to somebody else and start fresh. And I believe that mindset and the fact that there are so many people who are unhealed, who have been hurt when they were children, and have never been healed from that. So their mindsets, they're adult in age, they're grown-ups in age, but their minds are still where they were hindered when they were still a kid and they got abused or traumatized or something and never got past it. So therefore, development of their mindset did not get past that. And with all that combined, and that can go from for a man or a woman, as far as that, what I'm talking about. So in other words, to be like, I'm just talking about both things. I'm just trying to put everything inside of a pot. And make it make sense and give it some more clarity. But because of all those dynamics taking place, that's why the dating pool is the way that it is. But like I said in the barbershop, and I'm going to say it again right here on my podcast, I would never get to a point where I believe that there's not still good women in the world. And to women, please don't get to a place where you feel like all men are the same, that they're not good men. Maybe you just chose the wrong man. Maybe you just had bad experiences with the men that you did have. All men don't play games. All men are not trying to use you, play you. All men are not trying to abuse you or to have you, you know what I'm saying, be the main chick, but he still wants to play around, you know what I'm saying, so he's got commitment issues. All men are not like that. So, and all women don't have commitment issues. All women aren't scared to be submissive because they have had men that have took advantage of them, so they get to a place where they get guarded and don't want to be submissive to a real man. All women are not like that. It goes both ways, but like I said, there are still good women in this world. There's nobody gonna make me believe that just because there may be a lot of women that have been through things, haven't healed from them, or that have been through so much that they just aren't going to never be the same on their own admission, or because they refuse to do the work that's needed. I still believe there are some good women. The same thing for the men that have been hurt and haven't got past the hurt when a woman cheated on them or something like that. Because for a man and a woman, yes, the capacity that a woman can take is worser. And I would say as a man, a woman can get past that better than a man can. It can absolutely destroy a man. Now it can destroy women, but women have the capability, because majority of the time, and this is the reason why I believe, majority of the time, a man can have sex and not have anything attached as far as his feelings, emotions, and so on. Now, women can too, but it's more in the man's nature that can happen. And I know there's women out there saying, please, these men be getting bam, bam. Okay, that is true too. But I'm saying as far as the nature of them, a man can have sex and not be attached. Just like, okay, and I'm gonna use a situation in the wild, just like lions. Now, when you see a lion can sit there and find a lot of lioness around, and he can sleep with all of them. And it's just in that not lion's nature to do that. I guess you could say that a lioness could too, but she's not. She'll fight off, so on, if another lion, and then of course the lion would be territorial too, so on. But just like with humans too, there are women who do sleep with multiple people, with men, or men and women, or whatever may be the case. So I'm not saying that it's just men, but I'm just saying nature-wise, in the nature of the woman, the nature of the man. Women are more emotional. They're more tied in when who they give their body to, for the most part. Of course, there are people that have, I guess you could say, if women selling their body, they can cut off that emotion thing too, and so on. But I'm talking about just from a nature standpoint. That's the reason why I say it's more devastating for a man dealing with that than it is a woman, because of the nature of it. And plus, a man knows that a woman, for the most part, a woman has to be really liking somebody, connected to somebody, or digging somebody real heavy to emotionally give herself to somebody else. So that's why. Doesn't make either one worser than the other, or one of them is more better, or either one. They both wrong. I'm not enabling man, or I'm not siding saying that one is worse than the other one. I'm just saying by nature, a woman can deal with it better than a man can. Doesn't mean that she won't be hurt either. Of course she will. And it would also cause insecurities with her and so on. But I was just speaking on natures. I guess pretty much I just want to talk on this a minute because of I'm single at the time, so dating is always going to be an option going forward. But the dating pools are not, they're not the best. There's so much stuff going on with the way the world is right now. If you're an old school soul type of person, things are just not that way. So you gotta kind of work around things. But I think the best option for me, and I'll speak for me, continue to make my life better. I think that's the answer to everything. Don't play myself. Don't be desperate. Don't be so quick to be in a rush to be with somebody, scared to be lonely. I'm good. I'm comfortable in my skin. I thank God for giving me for doing what He has done for me over this course of time that I've been going through my awakening, my change, and so on. I have definitely become sharper in a lot of areas of my life and become more of myself, became more of a confident person. I definitely thank God for that, because it definitely has been Him who has got me to the level I'm at now and who is continuously taking me to higher levels and giving me the things that I need to continue to go forward in a stronger manner. So, my ending advice, any and everybody who is dating, mostly single people or people that are looking to get into a relationship or commitments. To the married people out there that are happy, I'm not talking about y'all. Y'all doing it right. More power to y'all and wishing y'all more success for the future. But for the people that do want to have that, don't give up on it for one. For two, take your time. Take your time. 3, learn how to be comfortable in your own skin and being by yourself, making yourself happy. Because at the end of the day, when you do start to get in a relationship, you don't put so much pressure on your partner to do so much or prove so much to you, as far as you say y'all moving towards of actually trying to make something happen. Make yourself happy at first, because sometimes you might get in a relationship with somebody, or you might start seeing somebody that you can't have their time all the time. And that should be okay. People make time for what they want to make time with. And I do agree with that. I totally agree with that. You make time for what you want. Yes, that's true. But you have to know the type of person that you're dealing with and what they have going on. What is something that is reasonable to expect? Those type of things. It's like in football or a sports game, like what they say, time, distance, like situational football or basketball, situational basketball, plays out of the timeout, those type of things. So you have to know the specific dynamics of the person that you are looking to have something more stronger or to try to build something with before you start to have unlofty expectations, which will lead to being frustrated, upset for no reason. I guess it's good to, like I said, be comfortable in your own skin. Don't be scared to be lonely. Never be desperate. If you ain't been with somebody in a while, don't be desperate. Because if you do anything out of desperation, trust me, you are not going to like the results you get. I can guarantee you that if you do something out of desperation. You take your time. Like I said, laws of attraction are something else. More than likely, if you keep on working on yourself and pouring love into yourself, you're going to attract exactly what you want. That doesn't mean that people who are not for you are not going to come for you. But if you're working on yourself and you're loving yourself, when they do come, you're going to know they're not for you. So keep that in mind. I think I pretty much touched on what I wanted to touch on for this podcast show, this episode. Like again, I said, very excited. Got some things coming forward. You'll be able to see some things as I go forward, changing with Pep Talk. I'm excited. Haven't been this excited about something in a while, so just trying to look for more ways to invest in my business and in Pep Talk. Bring a better product to the people, to people who choose to support me. And like I said, it's an open door. Welcome, come on in. As far as this, I'm going to try to continue to get better. And I'm sure y'all will be able to see as I go forward. Said the more work, time, and so on that I put in Pep Talk, it will show. Because the more you put in, the more you will get back out. That is true. So, once again, I thank y'all for sharing y'all time with me, for all the love and all the support. Y'all will see a lot of me in 2025, and things will start looking a little bit different as I'm starting to expand and add more to Pep Talk. Hopefully starting next week, God willing, you'll see some changes around here, and I'm very excited to start to push this out be confident in my purpose, and to live in it, and be like second nature. So thank everybody. I'm gonna get ready to get out of here. I don't know what the heck is going on. So I messed that up. Sorry about that. I know what's happening. I will see y'all the next time around. Thank all y'all. Thanks for all the support, all the love. I'm putting it in, y'all, because I want to receive it back. So I got to pay it forward in myself. Because if I don't invest in myself, I can't expect nobody to invest in me. So see y'all for the next one. Y'all be blessed. Peace.